This week on Offlane Game, we have a special guest. Find out who this guy is.
Welcome to Offlane Gaming, an occasional podcast about gaming's present, future, and past. I'm Yadneb, and with me today is my co-host, Cheeks A. Flappin. How you doing, Cheeks?
I'm doing real good, Yadneb. I'm ready to talk about some games, man.
Are you ready to talk about games? Well, that's great. Well, we're here in the present, and one of the great things about the present is the present has all this technology. So if you're listening to us on iTunes, we just want to remind people that we think that offlane gaming is kind of best embraced with video. So if you go to offlanegaming.com, you can both hear us and see us as we talk about gaming's present, future, and past at Offlane Gaming. So Cheeks, yeah, what do we got going on today? What's going on?
Well, we're going to talk about what's happening now in games. Currently, what's happening now in games for me is Mortal Kombat X. Not Mortal Kombat 10, mind you. Mortal Kombat X.
Mortal Kombat X. Okay, so it's a letter, not a number, is what we're saying.
Yes, apparently so. I don't know. I guess it makes it sound more extreme. I don't know if that's sort of like, X is going to start, popping up again in sort of popular culture. You know how they used to put like extreme this and X this.
Oh,
and,
yeah. It used to
and when
be
the
a
X
thing.
games came out, yeah. So I'm thinking this might be the beginning of sort of seeing that resurgence of that, because it's been about 20 years since that was a big fad, right?
Yeah, I think it's about time for that to come back around.
It's probably.
I'm ready for it. I'm ready for the Everything X to come back. I think that'd be great.
That would be pretty
but
good.
This is Mortal Kombat X. So
Yes.
This is the 10th. So it's a kind of a play on words because it's also the 10th, I guess, official entry into the Mortal Kombat series.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, for those who are maybe unfamiliar with, if you can be unfamiliar with Mortal Kombat, I'm not sure how that's a thing, but if you are, it's a fighting game that is kind of controversial at times because of its gore and the fatality system and
I don't think it's. I don't think
it's a little darker than your Street Fighter. And
yeah.
stuff, so.
Well, I don't think it's as controversial anymore. I feel like that it's just seen as more campy now.
Yeah, I don't even know if they're trying to be controversial anymore. But when it came out back in, let's step in the past here at the beginning.
Even though we're living in the present.
Yeah, it's still related to the past.
It's
because
true.
When Mortal Kombat, the original Mortal Kombat, first came out on consoles, do you remember how controversial that was?
Oh my, yes. And I had to play it because I was in middle school and I was all about controversy.
Oh yeah, we had to jump in on this. So I think this was one of the games that kind of forced the hands of the game companies to have the rating system.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember this one was really controversial because of the fatality system. So essentially, if you win against an opponent, you can kill them in some capacity. And do you remember the blood code? You said you had I know you and I have talked about this a little bit in the past. So you said that you didn't have a console, but you played at some friends' houses, and they played on the Super Nintendo version. Is that correct?
No. We used the Genesis version, so that's
you did use the Genesis.
Yeah, because the Nintendo wasn't cool with the blood on their console, right?
No.
Yeah.
No. You had to. Yeah, the Nintendo version didn't have blood, and then for the Genesis version, you had to put in a code to activate blood in the game. So it was great though. I remember the digitized actors were fantastic. I loved the graphics for the game. It looked just pretty amazing for the time, and obviously the controversy was great. So.
Yeah, and it played well too. It was real snappy. It really kind of had that. I don't know. It was real responsive. I mean, just for considering what it was, it seemed fairly technically achieved for that time. I think everybody thought it was really something.
Yeah. I think people appreciated it. Those who are really into the fighting genre, I think, appreciated it for being a good fighting game as well.
Yeah.
And not just being a game where you could rip somebody's head off or something. So
exactly.
But Mortal Kombat X. So this is the latest game in the series. So what are you thinking so far? How are you feeling?
I like it. It reminds me a lot of Mortal Kombat 9, and then obviously. Injustice, Gods Among Us. They've added some of those elements, like the environmental elements and stuff, are real cool. And I loved Mortal Kombat 9 because it was a return to form, for Mortal Kombat. They'd gotten into some sort of, I guess 3D sort of fighting stuff, right? Sort of a la Tekken and stuff, right?
They kind of went a little 3D with it, and the game started to feel a little bit less like Mortal Kombat. And I think you're right. Mortal Kombat 9 kind of brought it back. And then this one seems to do what they did with. I think you're right on it. It's kind of back to the Mortal Kombat roots like 9 did, plus a little bit of what they learned when they did Injustice. And I think, gosh, in terms of content, I really like what they do in the content of the studio, just because the single player game is much more fleshed out than most fighting games. It's not just a matter of just 10 fights and then maybe a 10-second clip at the end that shows that you won, even though that is in this as a mode. As like an extra mode through the tower modes. But there's actually a storyline to it, and it's incredibly cheesy, but it's fun. I love the kind of the retro throwback to martial arts, but I'm really enjoying it.
I'm really digging it too. It has a lot more QuickTime events than I was anticipating.
I don't enjoy that.
Yeah, I don't enjoy that either, because it kind of makes it like sometimes, if I want to kind of skip through a cutscene, say my wife is in the living room and I don't want to embarrass myself trying to keep up with the story. Right. Because she thinks, all video game writing, it's supposed to be cheesy, obviously, but if I want to skip through something, but I've got to do like 12 QuickTime events, it's kind of not really what I'm looking for. I just kind of want to get to the fighting part.
Obnoxious. I either want to watch the story or skip the story. I don't want to have to press a bunch of buttons to do either one of those two things. So I'm with you there. That didn't add much to me at all.
Yeah, it didn't make me feel like it was more part of the story or something like that. No.
It just that whole mechanic kind of feels dated, I think, at this point. And so that was just another instance of that feeling kind of dated.
Totally. Another thing I love about this is the return of the crypt and the way that they've sort of fleshed out that whole crypt thing. Now, the crypt is typically where they have the unlockables for this game. So you go into the crypt, you spend coins that you earn through leveling up your profile and winning games and performing certain moves and stuff like that. And you can go into the crypt and spend your coins on chests, and they unlock, and you can get concept art, you can unlock new costumes for characters, new backgrounds, new music, all sorts of stuff like that. And it's that I really like, because they've added this whole sort of Legend of Grimrock kind of thing, where you've got this sort of move a section, turn left, turn right, along with some QuickTime events.
Those aren't as bad in that context, but it has an adventure mode feel to it, which is fantastic. But I'm bummed. So you talk about all these things you can unlock. You can't unlock characters unless I'm missing something. All the characters are unlocked from the beginning, which is something more and more fighting games have been doing. And I find disappointing. How do you feel about that?
Well, I think it's
lack of character unlocks.
I think it's obviously a concession to the pro scene. They want this game to be accessible immediately for any sort of pro kind of stuff or esports, So I think that's kind of probably one of the reasons why they have everything unlocked right off the bat. And it's part of the thing. Esports are kind of hottish right now. Are they hot? I mean, Evo's a big thing every year. Plus all the other esports that are happening, and Twitch streaming and stuff like that. So, I mean, I think it's kind of, it's just part of the future is, we're just going to have everybody unlocked so everybody can start learning and, counting frames of how many moves everything is right off the bat, So
that's fine, but I don't have to like it, do I?
Yeah, you don't have to like it. There should be some sort of option where you can. It's like, are you playing this as a fighting game pro who wants everything unlocked right off the bat, or do you want to play this old school?
Well, they're gonna. I mean, the fighting game pros used to be able to earn things. So now to earn things, you have to spend real dollars, right? So
you don't have to. I mean, you can.
Well, I mean, like additional content, right? So they're adding characters.
Oh, yeah.
So what used to be unlockables is now downloadable content. So there's still a wall there. You just pay for it.
Yeah.
So I mean, just make the pros aren't going to take that long to unlock these things if they're playing the game right. Are we really worried about them? I mean, in the tournaments, you invent a tournament mode or tournament code or something.
That's true. You can use. Well, we got to think of something. I know we're living in the present, so. In the present, are these pro gamers older or younger than us? Yeah, Deb.
I'd have to imagine they're younger
than us, yeah. So
they are, yeah.
So
it's
this
just
is
you and I living in the past.
Exactly, pretty much. We're just two old assholes who won't who want things to be the way they've always been.
Yeah.
So
get off my yard type of
exactly. Get off of my lawn. So, I mean, what do you think? Is this are you consistently playing this? Have you dipped into multiplayer online stuff?
I've played just a little bit of the multiplayer. There's some sort of a meta game there where there's different factions, and you can join a faction and you unlock, I don't know, backgrounds for your player card or something, which is all right. It seems like that's totally broken. It doesn't seem like that's doing much of anything yet.
How could they not think everyone would just choose Lin Kuei? That's my question.
Right. I mean,
seriously.
Who's going to choose special forces?
Nobody.
They're always going to be left in the dark. I can't imagine that's going to...
Yeah.
It's not going to go well.
No one's going to choose, future army guy over, sorcerer or god or something like that.
Yeah,
or cool ninja.
It wouldn't have been perfect, but even if they just tweaked the system so it was like a participation rate. So, everybody joins a faction and then, how many, you get like a percentage or something. So like if there's 1,000 people, then you're 1/1000th of that score or something based on your participation. It just doesn't seem like they really did anything to scale it. I can tell. So it just seems a little broken with that. So I don't know, but I mean that's neat. The storyline's cheesy but fun, and I'm okay with that. How do you feel about the fatalities this time? So they keep trying to up the ante.
I think they're fun. Some of them are a little bit disappointing. Sometimes I think that they sort of cop out a little bit on the gore. Like some of it, I know it's not supposed to be realistic, but they're trying to be like anatomically correct for most of these. But sometimes
it's not gory enough. Is that what you're saying?
Well, no, I'm just saying that like they'll have one part be like really gory and explicit, slow motion, close up, but then they'll just like make the rest of the whole thing just sort of like really fast little red bits everywhere. So I'm kind of thinking what I'm thinking of is is it Kenshi? The blind guy with the sword. Yeah, the fatality he does where he spins the sword in the air and then he puts the person through it. And so it chops them up. So it starts off with they're cut off the face and it's all, anatomically correct. Like, you can see like the parts of the skull and stuff. And then they just kind of go with the rest and it's like a tree shredder, which is, I think it would have been funner to like chop him into sections. I don't know. It's just little complaints from me. But, obviously there's limits to the technology. Clearly, so that's fine.
Is that what it is? Is it technological?
That's what I would guess. But I mean, these fatalities do look a lot more brutal and a lot more gory or whatever. But they're fun. They're super over the top.
It gets to a point where you're getting to the microscopic level of gore, and what do you do from there? Right?
We'll get there. We'll get there in this generation. I think we'll get there.
But we're just not there yet. You're saying we're not
yet.
At the level of detail that I desire. So
exactly.
I want to see individual blood cells splitting or something.
Well, I mean, if you're going to go for this sort of, anatomically correctness, like they're trying to, like the X-ray moves always show like, anatomical models, like Invisible Man. Like you can see the lungs, you can see the heart, see the different various organs, intestines, liver, all that stuff. And it just seems like if you're going to go for this, then why cop out on the last seconds of some stuff,
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess that they're showing all the anatomical parts. I guess maybe they're just not falling out of the body correctly or something. Is that what you're looking for?
Something like that. Yeah, there's something that there's a little bit like I'm not buying it.
Like
on some parts,
but it's not quite working.
But not
me.
cut in half enough.
It's not gooey. Maybe it's a goo factor. It's not quite gooey enough.
That's true. It's not bloody enough.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, nothing's ever bloody enough.
You can see the organs, but there's not enough. Maybe there's just not enough. This generation doesn't have enough particle effects to really provide Cheeks with the gore that he's wanting to see.
That's right. Well, it's like, but
there's always next time.
That's true. There is always next time.
Yeah, just wait. What if you have? Here's a question. For you. So there's a PC version. If you have a high-end PC. Do you get more particle effects on the gore? Do you know?
Probably. I haven't taken a look at the PC version of this. I probably won't look at it until a couple of years down the line when I pick it up on a Steam sale for some reason.
Oh, sure, for like $1 or something.
Yeah, but I mean, even at that point, I don't know who plays fighting games on a PC.
Oh, I don't. No, I don't think
it does. It doesn't feel right. You
use a controller now, but it still just feels. I don't want to sit down. I want to sit down on the couch. I don't want to sit down on my office chair.
Exactly. Well, it's not like you invite a friend into your office. Let's go into my office and play Mortal Kombat.
That's exactly right. So, I think what it boils down to is that the modding scene might be able to deliver on what you want.
Now, are they
really high-end PC?
Is NetherRealm opening this up to mods?
Oh, I'm sure they're not. But when has that ever stopped?
Yeah, that's true. That hasn't ever stopped progress.
So if they're out there, maybe the modders can make this happen so that in 5 years when you pick it up on a Steam sale, it's everything you kind of dreamed it would be.
Yeah. Well, hopefully the modders will put in all the extra characters for Mortal Kombat 9 that I didn't see that I wanted to come back.
Now that's something else. I feel like there's characters missing.
Yeah.
And they're in the game. They're modeled. They have moves to a certain extent.
Well, I think that's all in service of the story, obviously. Because I mean, many of the characters got killed or zombified or whatever, you know.
They did, but there's still characters that are in the game but not in the game.
Yeah.
They're not selectable, but they're still around.
Mm-hmm.
But they did kind of usher in a new generation of characters. A lot of the offspring from some of the old characters are now in the game. I think that's all right. That's neat. It's probably pulling in some new fans that have no idea about Scorpion and Sub-Zero's background, you know? So that's probably an okay thing. They're kind of rebooting again. So Mortal Kombat 9 was kind of a reboot, and then this is kind of a reboot again.
Yeah. It's
but that's
good.
Okay.
Progress. I mean, who wants the same thing every year?
No, probably old men like us. But other than that,
just us. That's all. That's all who wants it.
No, that's not true. We like playing new games. So
we do. We like new content. I'm very happy with Mortal Kombat X. It delivers. It's fun. It definitely feels next gen. You know, it's fighters are great for kind of showcasing what next gen stuff can do, and this is definitely no exception to that.
I agree. Yeah, this is fantastic and well done because I think they always kind of knock it out of the park in terms of the amount of content they can do. So definitely. I know there's downloadable content coming out and people complain about it. That's the way of the world now. Whatever.
Well, what do you think about?
You look at. Yeah,
go
ahead.
What do you think about this being able? So you've got the crypt, but you can also go into the store and just pay $20 and unlock everything instantly.
Yeah, so there's some controversy about the DLC. So I think in terms of the amount of content the game provides, we're fine. In terms of the unlocks,
do you feel that cheapens it?
No, if somebody wants to do that, that's fine. If they want to spend $30 to do that,
20. It's only 20. It's like $19.99.
$20 to do it. That, to me is, I mean, whatever. It's just a bunch of skins and stuff. It's not changing the game.
Yeah. It's not helping them win.
The one that was even getting a bigger fuss than that was the fatality unlocks.
I like that. Or you mean the keeping
you can buy the quick fatalities.
Oh yeah. No, I don't have a problem with that. I mean,
don't either, but let me tell you how
some of that stuff can be so finicky, though. Well, no, I don't know. I've had problems executing like the simplest fatalities. I'll be like, okay, so clearly you go left, right, left, and left again, and I'll just have like the hardest time. Now I can't figure out if it's because I'm using the analog stick to do that, and it's not as precise.
Use the D-pad.
See, I tried.
Use the D-pad for sure.
But see, that's the thing. I tried using the D-pad during the fighting. Do you use the analog stick during the fight, or do you use the D-pad the whole time?
D-pad all the way.
See, because I tried using the D-pad, but then I was just like, it reminded me of totally getting like Nintendo and Genesis blisters on my thumb, and I was like, well, I don't miss those, so I'll use the analog stick. So maybe that's why I'm losing to you so much.
It could be. There's a special controller out too that you can buy. I haven't bought it, but I know it's out there.
The big stick and buttons and stuff.
Not like a big stick, but like a joypad, like one of the old
old
school style 6-button.
Oh yeah.
D-pad and 6-button type of controller that's out there. So, but I'm surprised you're struggling with the fatalities. To me, all this fuss was about nothing because every fatality I've attempted, I've managed to input correctly the first time.
Yeah,
without any issues.
I must be having space issues or something.
Yeah, you must be having some kind of issue and there's even a fatality training mode, so you can go in there and you can practice.
Oh yeah, I've practiced it. There's been some that I'm just like, why is this not going off yet? Why is this not going off? It'll take me like 5 tries. Who was it? It was like, it was like one of Ermac's thing, and it was just like I could not. It was like the easiest fatality sequence to enter, but I was just not nailing it for some reason. So
are you tempted to buy one of these fatality things?
No, I mean, I earned them, kind of. If you go through the crypt, you'll open them, and they show up in chests and stuff. So you're like,
that seems like that would be plenty, right?
Yeah.
So you have them when you need them.
Yeah, exactly. So
I don't know. That seems like much to do about nothing. And then the DLC for characters, is almost.
Well, it costs money to add
a lot.
Well, I mean, yeah, it costs.
It does.
It costs money to add characters in. Yeah. And move sets and art and assets and stuff like that. That's true,
but if you look at the value proposition, $30 for 4 characters versus the 60 you spent for the whole game.
Yeah.
But but game prices haven't really increased. I mean, that's always the argument, is that inflation has not really impacted the price of a video game.
That's true. It does still seem to be the same.
They got to make that money up somehow, because the cost to make video games is skyrocketing. So I don't know. That doesn't necessarily bother me. I think they provided enough content for this all to be okay.
Definitely. Well, yeah, this is a big game, lots to get through. So, speaking of lots to get through, why don't we take a look at the future of gaming?
The future. So we've been here in the past, so we're going to go to the future.
No, we've been in the present.
We've been in a little bit in the past.
Slightly in the past, but mostly in the present, because we're talking about a game that's now.
Yeah, it's the past now, because we already talked about it.
So now let's talk about a game that will be there. So if you've got now, and now's the present, past is then, would the future be there? Is that how I would refer to that?
Let's go there. Let's go to the future.
Okay, we'll go to the future. So let's talk a little bit about the future. More specifically, let me say, the future of multiplayer online battle arenas, MOBAs, if you prefer.
That's a popular genre. Yeah, that's a popular thing right now.
It's a kind of a thing. They tend to have the largest player bases, I believe. Seems
accurate. They're some of the most popular games out there. In particular, Dota 2 and League of Legends. But in the future, do you think there's going to be anybody else in that player space?
Well, let me tell you. Let's talk about the future.
Yeah.
Heroes of the Storm. Blizzard is entering the multiplayer online battle arena. Yes. So, which is fine, because it was Warcraft III that was sort of turned into the mob that kind of got that turned into Dota, and then, or Defense of the Ancients, and then inspired League of Legends, and then inspired Valve to get into Dota 2. And now is inspiring Blizzard to
get back into it.
Get back into it. That's right. Although in a little bit of a different way. They've done some interesting tweaks with the mechanics here. Now, tell me a little bit about these mechanical tweaks. Yeah, Nib.
Well, it's more casual. So I haven't played much of the game, mostly because, man, it's a game that's in the future, so my computer can't handle it very well.
Well, that's about to change soon, right?
It's about to change. Yeah,
yes.
My future computer got sent back to the past while I was trying to play Heroes of the Storm, so I couldn't play it. I don't know. Some kind of elaborate time loop thing going on. So
yes.
I had to use my past computer to play Heroes of the Storm. But yeah, it's a little bit more casual. There's no last hitting per se, I guess. There's no item purchases, or if these things are in the game, they're hidden really well. But I don't think that those things are in the game. It seems to kind of focus around team fights, I guess, and objectives.
Yeah.
And not a whole lot else. So it doesn't seem like it has quite the confusing learning curve initially. I would imagine people who have not played MOBAs can kind of jump into this one a little bit better.
Now, I know you're not...
It's free to play, which is another element of that. Yeah, go ahead.
Now, I know you're not super hot on it, but I kind of like it for those things that it's trying to be different with. Like, I kind of like the fact, being not a great last hitter or animation canceller, excuse me, that makes it makes it a little more fun for me to just jump in there and start auto-attacking creeps, and then when a guy gets too close, just to kind of jump on him with an ability and stuff like that. And I'm actually, I think it may have influenced my Dota play a little bit, because I'm a little more wary of where the creep line is now. Because if you get past the creep line in Heroes of the Storm, you get punished pretty much instantly. I'd say even more so than you do in Dota. In Dota, you can kind of wander, you can kind of skirt around the edge and get behind the creep line on the enemy side and not be super punished. But typically with Heroes of the Storm, if you get past that line, you're automatically gonna feel the repercussions of that. And so that's kind of I kind of like that, and I feel like it's made me a little bit, maybe slightly better at kind of deciding when to engage and when not to engage. But also just the fact that it feels like the action's a lot more instant. Now, I know the feel is kind of different. Like, we've talked about how the feel, it's not as quite as responsive as Dota. But the more I play it, the more I kind of get used to the way that it is feeling. And I don't know, I think it's a nice palate cleanser, quite honestly.
It's got a refreshing feel to it. It's very different. It's going to be interesting to see if it is successful. I certainly think Blizzard has a right to do it, because it was, a game that was kind of formed out of their initial, at least the MOBA genre kind of formed out of their games, if you will, with the mods and everything. So I think they have a right to do it, and I hope they can pull it off. I don't know. It didn't feel quite there yet, but I'm willing to give it a shot.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see. Of course, the characters in this one, you have to purchase them. Kind of like League, like you have to buy your characters. But I don't know if League does this. Does League do a hero rotation each week?
They do, yeah. Or at least they did when I used to play, so that you would get some free ones. It seems like you could buy at least a couple characters pretty early in Heroes of the Storm.
Oh yeah,
for my limited time with it. So it seems like you're at least going to be able to build somewhat of a stable of heroes that you can kind of draw from. Yeah, I don't know. I don't love that model. I prefer just the paying for skins model of Dota. But I think it fits Heroes of the Storm better than it fits League of Legends, just because Heroes of the Storm has a more casual feel to it, when League of Legends is big into their competitive scene. And I just always hated that. It's like, well, how can I be part of this competitive scene when I can't even get all these characters unlocked unless I want to spend tons of money? I didn't like that element of it. So, but I think for Heroes of the Storm it could be a good fit, and they did a pretty good job with Hearthstone, I felt.
Yeah.
So hopefully this one will be okay.
Well, I got to call you out on something here. It's like your present self was saying, I wish I had to unlock stuff. I hate having everything available at once. But now your future self is like, I wish I had everything available at once. Kind of hypocritical.
It is a little hypocritical. You're right. I guess it's just my embrace. I think I've only embraced the competitive scene on the MOBA genre, and that's probably narrow-minded of me.
Yeah.
I don't have that same kind of a feeling for the fighting game genre. But yeah, you're right. It's hypocrisy. You're totally right. I can't deny that.
It's all right. I'm hypocritical about all kinds of stuff too.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but I'm sure I've been a hypocrite at one point in my life.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Yeah. So anyway, we did a little Let's Play segment that we're putting into the show here. This is us, that is Yadneb and I, playing Heroes of the Storm in the closed beta with an Irishman.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
You don't remember? We were there.
Oh, yeah. I thought we were going into the future again.
Oh, no. Well, I mean, we're still in the future. It's just that we're going to look at the future through the eyes of the past future.
I think this time travel idea was a horrible idea for a podcast. It just gets confusing.
It does get a little bit confusing.
It's like those crazy Star Trek episodes where you never know what's going to happen.
I bet if we show this video, it'll probably cause a singularity, which will destroy the universe.
Most likely. And you're probably, at some point, you're going to have a beard in one segment and not have a beard in another.
That's true.
It's going to happen.
And green screens in one segment without a blue screen in the other one. It's going to be strange.
Time travel's messy. Just stick with us on this.
There's certain distortions that happen, including with the audio on the Let's Play that we had on this one. So, we were batting 100 on our first episode. We've obviously fallen into some sort of sophomore slump here. So we apologize for the audio on this Let's Play thing. I must have had a senior moment.
It happens.
So it happens. I tried to clean it up as best I can. So just bear it with it. I think there's some good stuff that can be gleaned from this. So why don't we take a look?
Let's do it.
Yadnib.
Yes.
How do you feel about multiplayer online battle arenas?
I am generally positive about multiplayer online battle arenas.
How do you feel about Blizzard intellectual properties?
I love Blizzard games.
How do you feel about Irish people?
I'm part Irish, so I guess I feel okay.
Being part Irish is not a feeling.
No, it's not a feeling. My feeling is, I don't know. I'm not sure.
It's a curse,
I need to sort it out. Probably, yeah.
Anyway, so we're playing the Heroes of the Storm. And now
we are.
This little intro video showing us that we're supposed to pick up gold coins in addition to the other objectives that we're supposed to pull together as a team. And on our team today is a good friend of the show, Diddy Mitch. Hello, Diddy Mitch.
Hello, America.
That's right.
Hey, Diddy. Well, We have people watch the show that are not from America as well. So it's world. Hello, world.
Hello, America.
Okay, good. I'm glad he's paying
This is-
attention.
okay, this segment's over already.
Yeah, this
Okay,
was all.
so this is it's big and cartoony looking. It's you can zoom in, but I don't know why you'd want to.
Yeah,
and-
it's nothing to look at, really.
You kind of get to pick. You kind of get to pick some stuff. So we're supposed to go in here. I hear this is more of a team game than.
Yeah, that's what I've
Dota
heard.
is.
So there's no last hitting. Is there gold in this game in Heroes?
You can't-
Storm?
There's sort of gold. Whoa, stuff's already happened.
Are there items?
Huh?
Are there items?
No,
do you
there's
buy
no
items?
What you do is you choose talents as you level up. And what you do is you level up as a team.
You're kidding me.
No, I'm not kidding you. This
So I'm
is-
relying on Diddy playing this game right.
Yes, we're relying on everybody playing this game. Now I don't even know what these abilities do. Stormbolt, throw a hammer, dealing 50 damage. Thunderclap.
You might want to hit up a fountain.
Cooldown is 8 seconds. I don't know what it does, but it does something. Here we go. I'm gonna BAM! I hit that guy, I stunned him. So it's a little stun. So yeah.
So this is exciting. There's all kinds of excitement if you're not watching this. You can tell from the BAMs that there's excitement.
Yes. So yeah. So we're playing this. We're on some sort of dock. Mitch shot something. What did you shoot there, Mitch?
Some sort of chest, Cheeks.
Oh, I see.
Oh,
So-
you're getting hit there, Cheeks.
Okay,
You're getting
so
hit
I
there.
should back up.
Yes, there is towers in
I'm
this
assuming
game,
we don't
so-
want to get hit. Oh, I have a talent. So we're gonna. So you have talents, which is essentially leveling up, I assume.
Yes.
Is that,
And it looks like there's a little thing indicator up at the top of the screen that's telling us the team level. So currently we're a little bit behind. We need to catch up.
oh man,
We need
it's
to
not
get
good.
caught up.
Has anybody
Concentrate
played
this
this
tower.
game?
Which
Have
tab?
you played this game, Diddy?
I played a little bit of it. Cheeks, you're gonna die there.
Yeah,
I know-
there I died.
I tried to
Even
save you.
said, I've died. Well, that's fine. I was focusing
It
on the wrong
happens.
tower.
It's gonna happen to the best of
It
us.
feels
Are we
like
playing
every-
against real people? Is that
Yes,
what
we
we're
are.
doing? Okay.
Are we? I have no idea.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
we
We
are.
might. We may or may not be. I'm not
I
sure.
think usually it would show gamer tags if you're actually playing against real people. I have no idea.
It's not really that important.
Like with
So-
most of this game, I just have no idea. Now
Exactly.
I get to choose a talent. Am I back? Am I alive again?
Nobody knows. Nobody knows.
You could-
Oh yeah, I am. So I guess the weird sort of treatment on my screen has gone back. So I am alive once
good.
again.
So one of the things we discovered about this game is that it's region locked. So we tried to get Diddy in here, and I know he covers it up well, but believe it or not, Diddy is not an American.
He's not.
You can't. You maybe can tell for the accent. I'm not sure. Diddy, what is your country of origin?
Well, Ireland.
Ireland. Yeah, I knew that. I was.
Yeah, I mentioned that at the beginning.
No. I'm just
But
trying to get.
I
him to
live.
talk.
You're trying to paint a word picture for the people, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah. You can't
I
tell
am
he's Irish.
okay. I live in the west of Ireland, so I'm the closest to America.
Oh,
So that's
Oh.
why I
we're
have.
basically in
That's why you have such a thick American accent.
New Jersey.
I think.
Well, I've got a lot of relations in America, and a lot of people call me the American because I sound quite American. I think it's because I watched a lot of Friends when I was growing up.
I've heard that before, and I like that explanation for that.
That's good. Yeah.
That is pretty good. Oh,
Are you a
there's-
Seinfeld fan?
I never watched Seinfeld. I don't.
Oh,
I don't even. I don't know if it's any good or not.
It's
Oh,
pretty good.
You'd love it if you loved Friends. You'd love Seinfeld. You'd love
So-
his quirky observational take
Oh,
on life.
we gotta
I
get
think
out of
so.
here. We gotta get out of here.
We do.
So for those who can't see what's
Yeah.
happening, we're getting destroyed by many enemies.
run-
Some of
A
them
bunch of
are
dudes
large,
showed up.
and lots of dudes came. And,
Careful. That guy is like Pudge. He can hook you.
Oh,
oh, a Dota 2 reference. Look at that.
Dota 2 reference. So, my question is, Mitch, do you think that Dota 2 is trying to be more like this game?
God no. This game is made in response to Dota 2. Oh, I see you got hooked.
Yeah, he's like Fudge.
Oh.
This game is in response to Dota 2. So do you mean it's the anti-Dota 2? What do you mean by that?
Oh, I'm trying to.
Oh, click on this guy.
Yeah.
This fountain here.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that-
I've played a game once. I just don't know anything about the hero I'm playing currently.
So what did you mean by your comment, Diddy? What do you mean by the anti-Dota 2?
I don't like. I think this is in response to Dota's 2 success, and Blizzard want to get in on the action, and they've
Yeah.
made
Okay.
they've made a simplified version of Dota.
Now, do you think that really annoys Blizzard that Dota 2 is so successful and it's based off a mod off of one of their games?
I don't know, because in fairness, like, it was based off a mod that Blizzard didn't create, but like, we've seen what modders can do, and a lot of the companies don't get any, like Skyrim, the amount of mods for Skyrim, and they don't get any money right now. But now they've got this new thing. What is it? You can pay for mods.
Yeah, the paying for mods thing, but I think that they actually
it already got shut down. Yeah,
it got shut down. Yeah, people were.
They're not. It's not shut down completely though. You know, they're going to try and make it work.
Oh yeah, they'll probably give it another go, but it definitely got shut down initially.
Come in here.
Let's get this camp. Yeah. Here we go.
When we get this camp, they become our minions, and they'll start pushing for us. That's why
that seems important. Yeah,
that's a mechanic.
I'm on board with that one. That seems pretty neat.
That I'm totally into.
So what do we think the appeal of this game is? So I think the one thing that I think is really interesting about it is, as a Blizzard fan, they've got characters from all the different Blizzard IPs, and I think that's pretty neat. Is there anything else that's a big plus with this?
I don't know.
Is it a plus that it's casual? Is it a plus there's no last hitting? What do you guys think?
I think it's boring. That's no last hitting.
Yeah, that's how I'm feeling right now as I'm playing it. Yeah.
Yeah, I love denying and stuff like that in Dota. Trying to keep you alive. Stay away from my friend.
And we're playing a beta version, so maybe this is a little unfair, but it doesn't seem to have quite the polish that most Blizzard games do, and maybe that's just because it's an early version of it. But I don't know. The clicking doesn't feel as good as the clicking does in Diablo, or the clicking does in.
Isn't that weird that clicking
StarCraft
can have a feeling?
But do you agree with me?
Yeah, I do agree. When I
the
first
clicking's just not quite there.
Like, it didn't feel as responsive as Dota 2 did.
And any of Blizzard's games, because I think Blizzard's games usually have a good clicking feel to it.
Yeah, I don't like the camera in this game.
I think that's the big thing. Is there a way to change it? Has anybody found a way to change the camera?
You can in the settings. You can mess around with it, but I don't know. It's just weird. It's not as.
It follows you. It follows you around, so you're not controlling the camera as much as the camera's just following you. It's like it's on follow mode. If you ever watch like an observer game in Dota 2, I feel like it's kind of like that.
I'm screen panning. I don't know what you're.
Well, you can a little bit, but then it scrolls strangely. I don't know what it is. There's something about it. Now there's mounts in this game. What do we feel about the mounts?
I think it's good for like getting back into the battle quicker, but I always forget to use them. Like, say if you want to get up top really quick, you can get on your mount, but I forget about it the whole time.
Do you think overall it's a good thing though?
Let's get that tower.
I think it's a positive thing. I'm on board with the mounts.
You're on board with the mounts.
I'm on board with the mounts.
You
like that?
So the thing is, I can't really tell if we're winning.
I can't tell either.
Like it, but
I don't think we are, because we're ignoring objectives. We're kind of like pushing like.
That wasn't an objective. We just took a tower.
Yeah.
What are the objectives if that's not an objective?
I thought we did, and we slain an enemy, and I picked up some coins. That seems like we should totally be.
I'm a little lost.
All day.
Is it because we don't have more of these big guys? Is that what you're saying? So the other team is sending these giant pirate guys at us, and we don't have giant pirate guys. Is that why you think we're losing?
Well, we can get them easily enough. Like if you look
in XP, if you look.
Why are we losing? Did he explain why we're losing?
Why are we losing? I'm mad now. Why are we?
Yeah, I'm upset.
If you're trying to blame this loss on me, did he?
It's okay. I got this.
If you can support your argument, I'm okay with it. But it feels like we're winning.
It feels like it's a cakewalk. This must be a lot. This has got to be a lot.
Yeah, I would think so. How do we go back to base? Is that a thing we can do?
Yeah, you can Hearthstone.
Oh, how does one do that?
Speaking of tie-ins and Blizzard
Oh,
IPs,
is it the B button? So that's very much like League of Legends.
Ooh.
Oh, I think this guy might hit me. No, he's gonna ignore me. Okay, great.
I'm gonna go back to. I'm going to.
So I want to be spending gold and buying items that customize my experience and change my abilities and can counter the other enemy. And there's nothing to do at the base, is there?
Not really. You can heal up, and then I'm using this time to choose another ability thing. That apparently I got because we love.
But it doesn't take very long to choose abilities, does it?
We're going to go. Okay, we're going to go here.
Okay, so you want us to get that camp?
Correct.
Okay, so there is a pinging system like most other MOBAs, so we've got that going on.
I missed it. So I've got the Heroes of the Storm equivalent of Radiance happening right now with my guy.
Okay. Because it's an ability, not because it's an item, right?
Yeah, it's an ability. So I just constantly have this happen.
So I guess my question. and maybe Diddy, you're best served to answer this one. Is what makes a good Heroes of the Storm player? I haven't figured out. Like, do you feel like there's like a talent that you can develop in this? Is it game? It doesn't feel like it's game knowledge. Is it like a Twitch skill thing? What do you think makes a good player in this game?
I'd say there will be people that'll like break this game apart and learn every ability and every character, and they'll be the people that'll thrive. I'm not gonna be doing that because it was bad enough spending 1,000 hours on Dota to learn that game.
Yeah,
I don't.
Do you think there's that much to learn though? Do you feel like there's a lot to learn?
I'd say there is a good bit to learn if you want to.
Okay.
I'm messing these guys up. Bing bong time, guys. Get in here.
So where is the depth? Is the depth in the selection of the abilities? Is that what you think?
I don't know. It seems like it's whoever can get to the treasure chest quicker.
But that's just clicking fast, right?
Yeah.
So that doesn't seem like depth. I'm sure there's depth, but I can't find the depth to the game.
Yeah. Well, I think what it is it's in the team fights. You
Okay.
know how in team fights,
So it's about getting the abilities at the right time?
Yeah.
Like, what do you think?
It's about
Okay.
being in the right position, hitting the abilities at the right time, keeping track of where you are in the scheme of the team fight, so you can actually pull stuff off. Because that's like one of the hardest things I have a hard time with in Dota is keeping track of my guy.
Yeah. Okay.
I have a hard time with that too. I mean, it's something I'm still learning, still working on. I
actually think they do a good job with that because Blizzard has a pretty good art style department. I feel like I know where my character is, and that I'm feeling pretty good about. I haven't seen John. Has anybody seen our fourth player?
John, is he here?
The entire game? I think
no,
he's playing
he's
with.
got to be here, right?
I think so.
Am I alive? I have no idea. Where am I? See, I've lost myself. Oh, I'm walking over here.
There's a lack of clarity in that for sure.
Yeah. So sometimes that'll happen. So now we're attacking the Ancient?
We pretty much won right now, I think.
Okay.
We've already won the game? Okay.
Like,
so
we're just waiting.
I do like that the maps are all different and have you do different things. I think that's maybe a kind of neat thing. But you know what it feels like to me is the special modes in Dota 2 that I never want to play.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but I think some people really like that. Some people love those special modes that come out, and I think some people really enjoy the casual, do something different on the map. Oh, don't die, Cheeks.
I'm trying not to. I'm running away. I'm going to Hearthstone. Time to Hearthstone.
So I am assuming that these are bots, but we pretty much destroyed these bots without a whole lot of trouble, I believe.
We've handled them handily.
Yeah.
Dwarf toss briefly stuns enemies hit. Ooh, I'll go for that.
I can't even know. I don't know the score. Is the 18 to 15? Is that the kills?
That's the
levels.
levels. That's what levels. So we're all level
there is
18.
So there's nowhere that it lists kills. Does it list kills?
Not really. Not until the end, or does it? I have no idea. No,
There probably is a way to.
You can find it. Yeah, you can find it by pushing tab. So it's there. It's in the game, but it's definitely not at the forefront of the game like it is in other MOBAs.
Cheeks,
it seems like the focus is something different.
Here's John. I found John.
Oh, he's alive.
We're paying off the guys. He's been working the other lanes apparently.
Oh, good.
So we should go and try and find. Are there treasure chests? Oh, I guess they'll show up on the map. I'm gonna come over here, and I'm going to get a neutral creep camp. I think, and see. See if I can make this happen.
So Diddy, what would they do to this game to make you want to play it? So you said you're not interested. What could they change?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't see myself really getting into it. I think the people that get into it are the people that don't have as much time. Like, games in this don't last as long as they would in Dota.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's an advantage there.
That's kind of appealing to me, actually.
Yeah, I like that idea because sometimes you want to play Dota and it's going to be an hour, right? And I don't know if I always have an hour.
You know, and this doesn't feel as, I don't know, life or death as Dota either. Like, this feels like a nice sort of like, I kind of want to get in there and have the team fight experience or whatever.
I can see that. Does anybody feel stressed out? I don't feel stressed out.
Yeah, this doesn't feel super high risk to me.
I almost barely feel like I'm playing a video game, and that's maybe I mean that as a compliment in a way, but like I don't feel there's very little stress.
Are you happy about the fact that there's no one calling you a noob in chat? That's what you're happy about.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, hold on. Here we go. Yeah.
Are you gonna do it?
Yeah. Wait, hold on. Neb noob.
Bring some toxicity to this. There we go.
Yeah.
Now the stress is increasing a little bit now.
So
I feel more at home, but more stressed at the same time. So those who are maybe just listening to this, Cheeks just typed Yadneb noob and report Yadneb into the game chat, which is good. That's an encouraging thing. Something that you'd normally see in a MOBA, but not in this one as much so far. So
okay, so I see what I'm doing here. I'm trying to increase mobility. Oh, I died. Sorry. My killing spree be over.
oh boy, I just died too. So that Pudge guy can hook you and kill you instantaneously, it appears. So that's fun. So is so they're trying to do a competitive scene with this game. Do we think that's going to take off, or is it kind of a contradictory thing to try to do on a casual MOBA? What do you guys think?
Well, I heard the Heroes of the Dorm thing seemed like it was a success, I guess.
It was a success,
I
yeah.
think so. I think people said the production was really good, and I mean that's one thing that Blizzard is good at. You know, they've had years of experience with StarCraft and years of experience with, and now a year of experience with Hearthstone, year plus, and so I think they kind of understand kind of what goes into the production of sort of an esports thing, probably a little bit better than Valve does. You know, there's always things that Valve does at the International, which people are like, oh, they messed this up. It wasn't as good. You know, this could have been way better. So I mean, I think this has just as good a chance as anything.
Okay,
like,
so not necessarily because of the depth of the gameplay, but just because of the developer that's behind it and their strength of handling these sort of things.
Mm-hmm, totally.
Okay, I can see that.
I think that sort of history. Then plus, Blizzard fans. I mean, it's a thing. I mean, you want to talk about Blizzard fans are like. It almost feels like, I don't know, kind of like your Xbox fans or your PS4 fans.
Well, they do. Yeah, they have their following, and those people probably will play this game, I would think, because it's the Blizzard MOBA, right? Exactly, that's their thing.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, anything Blizzard is for
me.
And
it doesn't feel like a bad game. It just feels like a game I'm less interested in playing than other MOBAs, basically. I don't think it feels bad. It doesn't feel poorly developed or anything, but I'm not particularly interested in playing this a whole lot. How do we feel about the... so they went with more of a League of Legends type of model for the hero unlocks. How do we feel about that?
It makes it a little bit easier. Like,
we apparently won.
Oh, good.
Apparently won the game.
Good for us.
So, yeah, we have...
hey!
I'm not... I don't know particularly what we did to do that. It's probably a bot match, so those who are judging us, that's fine. You can judge us.
It feels like we just all sort of stayed together. Like, I didn't feel like there was any tension. We kind of had one person sort of working the other.
We didn't necessarily communicate either, though. I don't feel like we did anything to win that. And again, it's against bots, so I don't know what that means. Now, I only got 10 gold
I don't think it is
that match.
I know. I think
you don't think that was bots?
No, I think it was bots because it was only 10 golds.
I got 1,000 gold.
You got 1,000 gold?
How does that work?
Why did I only get 10?
It says AI. It was definitely against bots.
Yeah, it was against bots.
Maybe it's because mine's like
your first
a new
match. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah.
So you got 1,000 gold. I got 10 gold. So it would take me how many matches? 200 matches to unlock a new character. Wow. If I'm playing bot matches, is that right? I think that's right. Oh no, you get 1,000 gold at level 4. So leveling up also gives you gold.
Yes. So this has sort of that Hearthstone sort of thing. So,
okay. Which I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
And the matches were pretty fast, kind of like Hearthstone.
Yeah, that's nice. That was a 17-minute match.
Yeah, so I guess if it stays casual, I'm fine with the way that the unlocks work. It's kind of like League of Legends, which I thought was backwards for League of Legends, because that was a competitive game, so you really needed specific heroes.
Yeah.
So to have to spend money to get those heroes just felt kind of wrong. I definitely prefer Dota 2's method, but if this is a casual game, then it kind of feels like Hearthstone.
Yeah.
I'm okay with them doing the model this way. That doesn't seem like a bad thing.
And it seems like you'd spend a lot more time. Like, this is the kind of game, they don't have hundreds of heroes, so there's not like a ton to learn. But you just spend your time with your one hero, and then those heroes too have individual levels too. So that's sort of a thing. I don't know. I think this is going to be appealing to a wide range of people who are really just not into either League or Dota.
I think that's true.
Who are intrigued by the notion, intrigued by like the style of game, but
yeah, I think so too.
Don't really want to get into the items and stuff.
Yeah, I think that's a good point.
Last hitting stuff. And honestly, for me, I hate the last hitting in Dota too. Like that's why I play support, is because I'm terrible at it.
Yeah, I guess since I'm a carry, I kind of missed it. Maybe that's how Diddy feels too.
Well, I mean, Diddy was saying, he loves He loves that, sort of.
But like,
last hit.
if they did have last hitting in this, and I'm not sure if they do or don't, but like, it's really hard to see the creeps
Yeah.
HP bar.
It is. Yeah, I agree.
This
How do we
game
feel
is
about? There doesn't seem like there's any kind of a team composition thought, right? I mean, are some of these heroes supports and some carries, or is it just?
I notice it in the if you go to the hero select thing, they
Yeah.
have like, so the guy I was playing was a warrior. So
Okay,
melee
okay.
warrior. So I guess that it's sort of a core, I assume.
I think
guess.
Okay, so
it's-
you're saying it is in the game in some
So you've
capacity.
got like warriors who are your big sort of.
Oh, you have
tanks,
warriors,
and then
assassins, support, specialists. I
Yeah,
see. Okay.
So those sorts of things, I think those are sort of their answer to sort of those role, play type thing.
the support thing comes into, I'd say, when it goes level up and it says, oh, choose a talent.
Yeah.
And if you're a support, you're not going to be like, well, do maximum damage. You're going to be like, oh, well, this one heals my team if I stay close to them or something.
Yeah.
There is that ability in there. So
Okay.
For sure. So let's see. So having come from sort of you've had raid experience. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. Does this maybe have sort of the feeling of a raid? You've got your abilities. You've
No,
got certain
it-
people
it-
working together.
No,
That
it doesn't.
Requires much more coordination, I guess.
Yeah, I don't even think it has as much coordination required as like a dungeon in World of Warcraft or anything. I think it just feels real. I don't know. It feels like a watered down MOBA, and maybe that's an okay thing.
Yeah.
But it just feels like a MOBA without any of the frustrating learning curve elements for one, but then also any of the maybe rewarding knowledge that you can kind of build to get better at the game. I guess that's my concern, is it missing that? Like, I feel like
Yeah.
once I learn the hero abilities, am I pretty much, and I learn the maps, am I pretty much out of things to learn? It doesn't seem like there's a lot of depth.
Yeah.
But maybe it's here. Maybe we just haven't found it yet.
Yeah, I mean, it could be. I think I'm gonna stick with it for a while. I'll
Okay.
still play occasionally, maybe just when I don't feel like having my soul crushed playing Dota or something.
Yeah, I
You
feel
know,
honestly, I feel refreshed. So if we're just talking feelings, I feel pretty refreshed from playing
Yeah,
this.
it's a little
Like,
bit
I
of a
don't
palate
feel-
cleanser.
Yeah, I don't feel
Yeah.
stressed at all. I don't know if I had fun, but I didn't not have fun.
I don't know if I had.
I felt like I could just kind of zone out, and it was good for my brain, I guess, to
Yeah,
not
yeah.
have to think about anything. So-
Totally, just kind of go in there and like, oh, that guy's hurting me. I should do something to him or get away
Yeah.
from him, or oh, look, they're hurting these guys. Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
It's
Diddy, do you have any
situational.
final thoughts on this?
no, but John Barker is saying some nice things in the chat.
John Barker. Yeah, he's a good guy. John Barker.
John Barker. What a guy.
Yeah, I don't know what he's saying in the chat, but that's okay. So no final thoughts on Hearthstone?
No final thought. This is Heroes. This is Heroes of the Storm.
Oh, Heroes. I keep calling it. They needed to name it not an H
I know.
name.
And the
I'm not.
process also sounds like Heroes of the Swarm or Heart of the
StarCraft
Swarm or
as well.
whatever it is. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's all.
Well, this
sorts
was
of-
a fun excursion into
What
the
would you-
future.
Here we go. Here's a question. What would you guys name this? Diddy, you go first.
Put me on the spot here. Titans attack. I don't know.
Good.
Yeah,
Good name.
that's a
you
good
put me
name.
on the spot
That's a pretty
here.
strong
Come on.
name.
Titan
That's a
Souls.
pretty
There we go.
strong-
Titan Souls. Yeah.
Okay.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
All right. Ben, what are you thinking?
I like the. I think they at one point in time were calling it Blizzard All Stars or something like that, and I'm okay with that. I like just the kind of casual Friday night fights type of Blizzard All Stars sound to it. How about you? How about yourself? What would you call
Let's
it?
see. Well, we got sort of the Blizzard thing. If they want to go sort of with a weather type thing, because they're talking about the storm
Mm-hmm.
and something besides heroes, maybe you could go champions.
Mm-hmm. That's strong so far.
Champions of the Chinook.
Okay.
I think
'Cause
I
the
think they
Chinook
should
is
call
sort
it-
of like a storm, or the El Nino. Champions
Or even just-
of the El Nino.
Even Champions of the Storm would be less confusing than
Champions of the-
Hearthstone and Heroes of the Storm. I
That's
think.
true. Or champions
I like
of
that.
the. Or you could do lords too. Maybe lords of the low pressure front, or I don't know, whatever.
Lords of the low pressure
front. Sweeping in.
That's pretty
Uh,
good.
Liz Meebos. That's what they should call it.
Liz Meepos. Okay.
Yes, there we go.
So we've got some
Liz
better
Meepos.
suggestions. So maybe Blizzard will take our suggestions. These all
They
seem
probably
like good
will.
suggestions.
They probably will.
So,
You're welcome,
yeah.
Blizzard.
Yeah, they have us to thank for this. So,
Well,
but yeah, I hope it turns out well. But yeah, we'll see.
Thank you, Yadneb, and thank you, Diddy Mitch, for traveling into the future with me to take a look at this. I think this thing goes into open beta pretty soon, or maybe even just gets wide release.
I look, June 1st is the release, I believe.
Yeah, it's coming out soon. So this has been a glimpse into the future, and so far the future is pretty inoffensive and sort of refreshing at times, although a little stale at other times.
I think that's a good description. Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. Yadnib. I want to talk a little bit about the past.
Okay.
Specifically, your past.
My past?
Yes.
Okay.
I have heard tale on other podcasts, which will remain unnamed, that you were at one point one of the greatest Warcraft III doubles champions in the United States.
That's probably a slight exaggeration, but I was at one point in time a decent Warcraft 3 player.
Okay. Now, this was a doubles match, correct?
Yeah, in doubles. Yep, I used to play with an old college roommate, and we, I don't remember a whole lot of the details, but I know that we got pretty high ranked, I think within like the top 100 or so of US East, I think. And I remember I played human, and that is roughly what I remember about it. But yeah, it was fun. I liked Warcraft 3.
I've got a little surprise for you.
You have a surprise for me?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
This is going to warm your heart. I have found your alleged Warcraft 3 doubles partner
You're
and
kidding.
brought him onto the show.
Okay.
John,
Hey,
welcome.
It's John.
Hey,
What's up?
hey,
How's it going?
been a while, Ben.
Yeah, it's been a while. What's new?
Yeah. Global warming. I don't know.
This is beautiful.
Fair enough.
Can you feel the love, all the good feelings? This is what the internet's all about. This is what technology's all about. Bringing people together. Podcasts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, I have a couple questions about the past. In particular, I have questions about Warcraft 3.
Okay.
Now, in the stories I've heard, I was led to believe that, Yadneb, that you were the brains behind the operation. Is this true?
No, I think your stories are false. I'm not sure. Are you hearing things from Brian again?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, Brian's usually a little confused on these matters.
Okay.
So no, I was probably I was somebody who followed orders, I guess is probably the best way to describe it. So I would say that John was the one that did all of the research and the study and kind of came up with the strategy. I don't know if he developed the strategy, but kind of noticed it was something that worked and kind of came up with what we were going to do in our doubles matches.
John, in a nutshell, what was this winning strategy that took you guys almost to the top?
So we just abused Archmage with Farseer. We did a caster strategy. We summoner rushed with the heroes with Archmage, Water Elemental, and the Farseer's Feral Wolves. We would try to harass their starting economy. We would do a little bit of a harassment with some of our tier 1 units as well. But mostly we were going for our tier 2 push with rifles, sorceresses, probably witch doctors, if I remember correctly. And just try to win the game at tier 2, because that's when human's strongest. I'd feed Ben over wood, so he could get to tier 2 that much faster as well, because I didn't really use much in the way of tier 2 units. Orc didn't really need, because the grunts were so good. So, yeah, that's pretty much what we did.
Okay, well, I understood virtually very little of that.
As did
Practically
I,
none
yeah.
of it. But
Sorry.
what it sounds like is that you were trying to use an exploit. So this sounds kind of like what we in gaming like to call a cheese strat.
Oh,
Is this
yeah.
true?
There were much cheesier things that people were doing in Warcraft 3. There were tower rushes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you remember those, Ben, but sometimes people would tower rush us or try to. They build a ton of towers near your base, and they just keep creeping them closer to your base until you die to towers. The most annoying of that is probably like the Shadow Hunter who could make those serpent wards. You remember the serpent wards? Okay, that's okay.
I don't remember the details at all in this game. No.
Well, they basically function like little mini summoned turrets themselves, and so the cheesiest thing was two Shadow Hunters, 2 orcs, tower rushing with lots of serpent wards. So they'd cast all these serpent wards and build all these turrets next to your base until you died.
So did you feel like we were playing by the rules and playing fair, John, or did you get into doing something that was kind of dishonorable in a way?
No. So the strength of our strategy was very much tier 1 and tier 2, which is really the early and mid game part of the game. And we did try to close the game out mid game, but that's because our race combination was probably pretty much crap tier 3 compared to a lot of the other race combinations. So, and actually the most popular and the highest win rate race combo was a late game combo, Night Elf Undead. And they did a similar thing to us with the wood feeding over, but yeah. No, we weren't cheesy. And then our strategy had a seriously big problem with Night Elf. Night Elf matchup, it was almost an auto loss for us because of how unfavorable it was for us. Mm-hmm. So I mean, we weren't exploiting.
So I should feel okay about our Warcraft 3 success. Okay, that's good to know.
Now I don't want to make this all about race, but is there a race that you feel was superior in Warcraft 3 to all races? A master race, if you will.
I don't know. I think.
Choose your words wisely, John.
Probably Night Elf. I don't know. They were probably the best.
And probably the coolest looking, right?
Yeah. I could beat an insane AI with a Night Elf at one time. Not anymore. But yeah.
Well, from what I recall of that game, which I hated, I thought it was the dumbest, steamiest pile of crap ever, because it wasn't Warcraft 2, only prettier looking. What I remember was that the Night Elf stuff looked pretty cool. So I think we can say clearly that the Night Elves are superior. So Yadnib.
Yes.
Tell me a bit of your accolades. Where this ranking, this high ranking in the doubles scene of Warcraft 3 took both you and John.
I have no idea. I think we were in the... John probably knows better than I do. I think we were in the top 100 or something. Is that right?
Somewhere in there. Probably in the 80s somewhere when we quit to play World of Warcraft.
I got you. So that's how the team fell apart. Torn apart by another Blizzard game.
Yeah, more just... We were still playing World of Warcraft together, so more like torn in the similar direction of World of Warcraft, because we started a guild and we let out raids, and that probably sucked away our lives even worse than Warcraft 3 did, I think.
Yeah, because the matches were fast and they took a lot out of us. But WoW is just more kind of grind, so you just vegetate for hours on end.
Tell me about it.
Leading 40-man raids was not an enjoyable experience, to say the least.
So, guys, sounds like you guys are ripe for a reunion.
Okay.
Now, I'm not sure on how big the Warcraft 3 scene is currently, but would you two, for our Offlane Gaming channel on YouTube, would you two be willing to reunite, join forces again, on the field of battle.
As long as John can yell instructions across the internet as to what I need to do, I'm on board with trying it sometime.
Well, even though we're in the past, we're living in the past right now, we're also living in the future, which means he can do that.
Oh, great. I love the future sometimes. It's great.
Me too.
Sometimes it's scary, but usually it's great.
And you know, speaking of the future, someday everything's going to end. Just like this podcast is ending right now. Yadneb, where can we find you on the internet?
I am at Offlane Yadneb on Twitter and PlayStation Network and Xbox Live.
Very good. John, where can we find you on the internet?
I am at Ashever on Twitter, and I think that's pretty much it.
Okay, that's good. If that's all you're comfortable with.
Twitter user.
I don't have a big web presence, I'm afraid.
Well, it's time to change that, John. You're bringing Warcraft 3 back in a big way. You and Yadneb all the way to the top.
We played some StarCraft 2, didn't we, Ben?
We're not talking about StarCraft 2, guys.
No, we probably played it poorly. It's awesome.
Well, I'm sure.
Well, John, thanks for joining the show. I'm going to try to shake your hand if you want to.
I don't know how we...
Yep, there you go. We got it. All right. All right. Yep. You lost me for a second. Okay, good. Okay. All right. So nice to see you again.
Yeah, you too.
Cheeks, where
nice
can we
meeting
find...
you, Cheeks.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. It's nice to meet you too, John. This has really brought me much pleasure. I apologize for the hard-hitting nature of my questions.
Those are pretty tough.
But, you know, as a pseudo-journalist, it's sort of my job to ask those tough questions. Sure. If you want to follow me, you can follow me at Cheeks of Flappin' on Twitter. You can find me on the PlayStation Network, which is CCHHEEEEKKSS. If you want to find me on Xbox Live, you can find me Cheeks of Flappin' on Xbox Live and on Steam as well, Cheeks of Flappin'. And on Battle.net, it's CCHHEEEKKSS. Again, with some number behind it. I don't know. It's a thing. All right, guys. Well, we will see everybody next time on episode 3 of Offlane Gaming.